Hey guys, it's Tanya with Scraptastic Creations. Today I want to create a couple of cards with you. So we are going to create these super fun cards, and I'm going to show you how I created this background, and I want to focus on blending with markers. I'm going to show you how I did that, and I'm going to show you this fun technique that I did, and then we'll work on this card and I will show you how I did this. Now, I'm going to use Close to My Heart's exclusive paper collection, The Good Life. I've used tons of this paper, so I don't have a lot left. I have like some scraps. But all their paper is double-sided, and they all feature this super fun zip strip or Brandon strip. And I love that on the back of that, it gives you the featured colors. So there's no guesswork. Like I know exactly what color cardstock, embellishments, inks to bring in, and I love that, so I don't have to worry about, matching colors. But this is the paper, and like I said, I just wanted to give you a real quick look at it so you can see that. And I'm going to bring in this super fun stamp set in Autumn Time. I'm not positive this is available anymore, but it's so cute. I really wanted to bring that in. And then I'm going to bring this one in, which I do know is available, and this is Autumn Blessings. So I thought this was super fun, this wheat and stuff like that. So let's get started. Okay, so I pre-cut my pieces here just to save time. The first thing I want to do is build my background. I am going to bring in this stencil. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's this one, and this is actually a slimline stencil, but I made it work for my card. And I'm not sure you can really see what that looks like, so let me just show you real quick. It is right here on page 35 in the catalog, and it comes with these three, and I love those. So I'm using this one right here, and I am going to bring in my blending brush and my mink ink, and I'm also going to bring in my all-purpose mat because I want to do a little bit of, I'm going to get a little bit messy. So this card, honestly, there was a little bit of coloring, but other than that, it goes together fairly quickly. So I am going to ink up my blending brush, and I didn't even bother to tape this down. I just kind of moved this where I wanted it. And then I literally I just added this ink. I didn't do it evenly. I kind of just put it on and then kind of messed around and went up and down. And then I literally moved this over here and just added it on this side. Again, nothing super even, and you can make it as dark or as light as you want. Okay, this is a shimmer brush. And this is my mist shimmer brush. And in here is some ink and a lot of sparkle and shine, so a lot of glitter. So you just pull this open. You don't twist because you'll dump your ink out. You can paint with this. You can splatter with this. You can blend with this. I mean, this thing is fabulous, so I love this. So I'm just actually going to I just want to add a little bit of splattering on here. Perfect. And then now I am going to bring in my lemonade ink with a little bit, with my brush, because I want to put some glow behind this lantern, and I'm going to put this right about here. So I'm just going to grab this ink and tap over here, and then I just want to add a little bit right here. Perfect. And I'm going to set my lantern there, and that's going to be behind it. So other than that, I'm going to bring my mink ink back in, and this is a different kind of ink distressing around the edges. I am literally just going to use my ink pad to rub around this instead of bringing in a blending tool. So this is just another technique, another way to do this, and give it a little bit of rubbing and do just a little bit more. And that is done. Other than my stamping. And we could go ahead and do that right now. So I am bringing in this stamp set, I Miss Hanging Out With You. And I am gonna stamp that in Archival Black because this is the darkest black. And that stamp set comes from Hey Friend, and it's right here. So here, let me pull in my foam piece real quick so I can get a good impression, okay? So I'm just gonna ink that up real well, and then I'm gonna put it right about here. So I'm just gonna put that down there and hold it and let that ink soak in. Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to this black base right here. And I'm just adding a real thin layer of liquid glue. And I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in my Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers. I love these markers. These are a 3-in-1. You get a light, a medium, and a dark. It's literally 3 shades in one, so I love that. And these are the colors that I am bringing in along with the blender. Okay, so I am gonna color my girl and my lantern. Actually, I'm bringing in the brown gray shades as well. How I colored this was I first used my earth brown blend and I'm doing the dark side. And I am going to outline her hair, and then I am going to follow all the strands of her hair, so this will blend evenly and it will look, it'll give her highlights, and that's what I'm wanting. So these markers blend, they are so smooth. I absolutely love these markers. These are actually my favorite markers that I've ever had, and I've had a lot of different kind of markers. So, okay. Okay, so I went ahead and outlined the boots as well. And now I'm gonna bring in my medium shade. And I am gonna go around that. I'm gonna go a little further in. And now I'm gonna bring my light shade in to do the rest of my blending. And I will go over the entire thing with this one. So I'm just gonna quickly give it a, I'm gonna go over it real quick, and then I'm gonna go over the entire thing and do some blending. I mean, do you see how pretty that looks? And the shades, like the highlighting in her hair. I love that. Okay, and you kind of got that little bit of highlighting in there. I think that looks great. So I did the scarf a little bit different than I did the hair. So bear with me. I'm bringing in the coral blend, and I know you're like, well, that scarf is not coral, but if you look at the detail in that, it's like super pretty. I'm gonna show you how I did that. So I brought in the light shade of the scarf, and normally I usually do the dark and then a medium and the light, or I do the medium and the light, but I did this differently. So I just colored this in, okay, and add a little bit here. And then over here, there's not a lot, but you see a little bit of that. And I colored that in like that. Then I brought the medium in and just did this end piece right here. And then this one, okay? Then I'm bringing in my blender, and and I am going to lift that ink, okay? And it's still gonna be there, you're still gonna see some, but I am gonna lift a lot of that, okay? All right. Also, I want you to know that I stamped these with the intense black. That way there, when I colored, there was no bleeding. So make sure you stamp it in the intense black. You can do your watercolors, your shimmer brushes, your colored pencils, your markers. You can do all of that if you use the intense black, and you won't have any bleeding. You know, just let it dry for just a few minutes. So now I'm gonna bring in this vintage blue, and I'm only going to bring in the light side of the vintage blue. And I'm not sure you can see that real well, but you can see the that pink or corally color in there, and it's really pretty. And if I would have done this just plain, it would have looked completely different. So the other thing I did was I went ahead and brought in the muted brown, and I just brought in the light, nope, I'm sorry. I brought in the medium. I brought in the medium, and I brought in the dark. Goodness, yes, I brought in the dark. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't remember. And you know the, like, when you go to like get a coffee and it has like that little kind of sleeve over it? So that's what I was doing, trying to make it look like that. And then I went ahead and I brought in the fair skin blend. And I took the light side and I just colored that, her face, her legs, and then her hand right here. And then I went ahead with the medium, and I just kind of brought it in just a little bit in like the corners and a little bit on just part of her leg. And then I'm gonna blend that out again with my light. And trust me, if you just would have brought the medium in and went over that, it would be a lot darker. So I found that I really liked it that way. That is all the coloring I did of her. So then I'm going to bring my glue back in, and I am going to cut the rest of her pants out because I didn't do that. So I literally, this is pattern paper. This is the mix-in paper, or a mix-in paper collection. And I literally just stamped this part of this girl. I stamped it right on the pattern paper, and then I stamped this on this pattern paper, so the back of this looks like this and the back of this looks like that. And that is how I made the color in her clothes. So I just thought that would be a little fun way to do that. So I am going to just add a little bit of glue onto this, and let's dress her. This is such a fun way to color, like, is to paper piece your pieces. Like, you can, if you want to add color to just a certain part of your stamped image, this is a really cool, fun way to do that. Okay, perfect. And I'm just gonna kind of bend her up a little. Isn't she adorable? I love that. Okay, so for my lantern, I went ahead and brought in the citrus blend, and I'm just going to use the light and the medium. And I did this whole thing here because I wanted to see like the glow. I wanted you to like see the glow of the light. So I just kind of brought that whole thing, even on the sides here, and then that's why I did it in the background as well. So then I'm just gonna bring in just a little bit of shading here with the medium. And then I'm bringing that, I have this on because I used it in my class, and some of my ladies have their own set of markers, so I did that to not mix them up. It doesn't come like that. All right, so here's my yellow, and that is nicely blended. And you get to see that little bit of dark shading there. And then I went ahead and I brought in this gray-brown shades, and I'm bringing in the light. And actually, I did the medium. So I kind of just went around that, around the outline, the outside of it, and all the places that have like little crease marks or little lines. And then I'm gonna bring the medium in. I meant the light, I'm sorry, the light. Okay, perfect. So I'm just kind of gonna bend that a little bit. And then I'm gonna take my girl, and I glued her right down onto that card base. Isn't that background fun? I just love that. Just gave it a lot more than if we just had put a plain background there, and or you know, just had it plain white. So this made it look a lot nicer. Okay. And then I am going to add my lantern here, but I'm going to go ahead and put a just a little bit of dimension behind that. Okay, so I'm just bringing in a little glue dot here, and I like this because I can smush it down if I want to. And I'm just going to bring this here. Kind of like to leave the light on, huh? I miss hanging out with you. Leave the light on for you. I love that. That's so cute. So then I'm just going to totally put my card base here, my card front panel onto my card. Okay, how cute is that? So that is how I created that cute card. All right, let's move to the next one. Okay, the first thing I want to do is create my background. So I'm going to bring in a scratch piece of paper because I don't want to wreck my Versamat. And I am going to bring in a sanding block. And this is an old sanding block. You can use a nail file. You can get a nail block like this. You can get little sanding blocks. I've seen them in lots of places online, and you can even go to your hardware store and get a small piece of sanding paper and do that. So no big deal. And I'm just doing the edges of this one because I am not going to see much of this mist color. And then I'm going to bring in the toffee, and I'm going to use the dark side of the toffee. And I use the dark side of the mist. So Close to My Heart's cardstock is two-tone. You got the true side and then a light side. I love that because you get, like, you know, like 2 for the price of 1. So I really like that. But this one, I'm going to sand the entire thing. So I'm just going to leave about 1/8 of an inch all the way around on this. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my 2 little Gingham prints here, and I'm bringing the Harbor ink. And I literally, instead of using a sponge or a blending brush, I literally just did a little ink distressing right here by rubbing it. And it doesn't give it much, but it made a huge difference. Okay, so I'm literally just lining up my card on my Versamat here and using the measurements, and I'm putting this between 1 1/4 and 3 1/4, and I'm literally just eyeballing it. It'll be straight. I love having this Versamat. It really helps me measure everything and keep everything in line. And if you want, you can always bring your mat in and your ruler and double check to be sure everything is completely straight. And oops, let me put my thing on there correctly. There we go. And we're straight. Okay. And then I'm going to just put that down. It's going to kind of be centered. I'll just eyeball it to make sure I have a pretty much even all the way around. So that looks pretty good. Okay. Now let's do our piece, and I already inked this, and I inked it in the intense ink because it will prevent bleeding when you use your markers or watercolors or whatever you're going to use the intense black. So the first thing I did was I brought my toffee ink, and I brought one of these awesome, really smooth, nice blending brushes in. I love these blending brushes. So I just bring in some toffee ink, and I kind of tapped it off so I could get a little softer effect. And of course you get the softer effect with these brushes anyways, but I kind of just did this, and I, you know, did it at like a little bit of an angle. So I'm just kind of getting this corner here, and you can add as little or as much as you want. I wanted that nice subtle effect in the background. And you can see on here, I did it even a little lighter. So, but it does dry a little bit lighter, so don't worry about that. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in 2 of the tri-blend markers. I love these markers. So I'm bringing in the dull green blend, and I'm bringing in the earth brown blend. So I'm going to bring in the, what I did was I started with the medium and just kind of going down that, literally going down the one side, and some of it looks like I colored all of it, and you will, but there's a little bit that you didn't. We're going to blend out with the light. So we'll go ahead and do this real quick. So when I stamped that stamp, I stamped it here, but I did stamp it off a little bit, and then I just kind of pull it down even further and pull it here. And you could do it right next to each other, but it created like a lot of space here. And when you have these cattails, you know, they're not like all the same exact size, you know, so they come up different. So I wanted to fill in, so that's how I did that. I just off stamped it on a scratch piece of paper. Like I put it on there and then stamped it. So now I'm bringing in the light. So I like this stamp set. It creates a nice calming, relaxing feel to it, you know. So I'm bringing in the tri-blend, the dull green, and I'm gonna bring in the light. So I'm just kind of going over these. It's nice and subtle. The light of this. So I did not use any dark at all. I just used this light color. So I'm just going to go over all of these real quick with this green. Okay, so you see these real faint lines. I did not want to use my marker because they're so thin, and some of these are even thinner. And you could, but I just went ahead and I have like this brown color in this Staedtler triple plus fine line. So I literally just took this, and you don't have to do these lines because they're fine, you see them, but this kind of just really defined it, and I liked that, so I went ahead and did that. I'm going to go ahead and glue this part because I'm done with this. Now, how cute would this have been to put this, my heart is filled with gratitude, to put this wreath here and put one of these sayings inside of there? That would have looked so cute. So this is really, really pretty. I like this. But I went ahead and took the You're in My Thoughts, and I cut out some circles there. And I'm going to flip my mat over because this is the perfect stamping platform on the back of that Versamat. And I'm bringing in my archival black, and I'm just going to ink that up and stamp it. Give that just a minute to dry because I am going to put a little inking around there, and I probably should have used the intense black, but it'll dry in just a minute, and I'm not doing very much of anything. So I'm going to bring my sanding block back in and go over that. It's just little small quick details like that that just, you know, take your card to the next, or your layout even to the next level, and I like that. So it'll tie everything in, give it that, you know, that worn out look, and I like that. So I literally took my blending brush that already had that ink on there, and I just kind of went over in the middle. So I'm going to dovetail this little piece, and literally I'm just cutting in the middle, going up, oh, maybe a 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm just going to go from corner to corner and cut that off. If you're enjoying this video, give me a thumbs up. It really helps support my YouTube channel, and I really appreciate your support. And if you enjoy videos like this, I post card videos every single month, and I also have scrapbooking layouts that I do where I like to teach a lot of fun techniques every month, every week. So I literally did that same ink distressing because I didn't want a lot on there. I just wanted to kind of finish those pieces off and close them a little bit. And adding ink like this kind of just draws them in and separates them from the background. So then I'm just going to bring this in up here on top of that mist piece to the very top. Make sure it's straight. Okay. And then I will, now you could pop this up too, and that would look really nice. I didn't pop the first one, so let's like add a tiny bit of dimension to that one. Okay, so this is pretty thin foam tape, and I will add just a little bit of dimension with that. And it'll stand up just a little bit more, but not enough where you can't mail your card. So I hope that you found these tips helpful, and you learned something about blending and creating your backgrounds. Until next time.